You are invited to be part of Our Town. Our Town is a unique television program where you, the community member, get to tell the wonderful stories of your area. Here's how it works. You pick a story about your area. Next, collect all the imagery to help tell that story. Then, WPSU will interview you about your story. Finally, WPSU takes your interview and imagery and makes an episode of Our Town. If you're interested in being part of the Our Town production, please come to the community meeting to learn all about the project. WPSU has produced more than 100 episodes of Our Town. Here are some of the best stories from small towns across our region.
Hi, I'm Melanie Henry, and I'm going to tell you about Mels Car Shows. Mels Car Shows started in 2012. I was the Clearfield County Fair Queen in 2011. We were looking for a fundraiser. We started with one show, and now we're up to 6. We have shows in Woodland, Houtzdale, Hastings, Madera, Janesville, and Glen Hope.
My niche in the alpaca industry is agritourism. I have a small farm store here that supports the alpacas, buys their supplies, food, whatever. And my job is to take care of the alpacas and educate people about alpacas and what we do with them. They are cute and they're a lot of fun, but they do have a purpose. They have a job. They also are very therapeutic. We take the alpacas to schools, even nursing homes.
My name is Rick McMillan. My story is about giant arrows across America. We have one of the arrows here in town. It's a historical landmark that very few people know about, but it's very interesting. Back in the 20s and 30s, at the beginning of aviation, the Mel flew from San Francisco to New York City. And all along the way, they did not have radar. So the way they actually got across was beacon length. They would fly from arrow to arrow. They were roughly 10 miles apart. You would fly to the arrow, to the light, look down, see which way the arrow was pointing. The arrow was pointing to the next one. They would look at the horizon and fly to it. They did that from San Francisco to New York.
The U.S. Hotel was established in 1835. It's been established longer than the borough of Holliesburg. It was built right along the canal system. The hotel really thrived. The canal was part of the main east-west travel in Pennsylvania at the time. In the early 1900s, the bar was added. We actually have an actual working spittoon. It's one of the few that are in the country you can actually run water down it. We prefer that not to be used as a spittoon. We prefer to have kids' duck races. Kids really enjoy it.
The Chatterbox is a dream of mine. My husband was still in the military, and he was getting ready to retire, and he said, you know, we've done 20 years, let's go live your dream. The biggest part of my dream was being a coffee shop where people would come in, meet, relax, talk to other people who come in, and that's what I enjoy. That's what our business is about.
I'm Amy Farkas, and I'm here to talk to you about the Boalsburg chickens. The chicken lore started in 2008. I was actually at a Memorial Day party in downtown Boalsburg, and a resident came up to me and said, Amy, there are chickens in the village. And I said, there aren't chickens in the village. We don't allow chickens in the village. And she said, no, there are chickens in the village. They're by the post office. So I went back to work on Tuesday, fairly obsessed with the idea of finding said chickens by the post office. Nobody does know where they came from. It's sort of part of their lore is that they just one day picked up and decided to move to Boalsburg. We would get calls from people because if you lived in close proximity to the chickens, you did not like them. If you lived far enough away from them that you didn't hear the rooster all night, you thought they were the best thing ever and they were super cute. So the Board of Supervisors, we discussed it, and I was like, what are we gonna do? Because I feel like if we kill the chickens, that's bad chicken karma, and like we can never eat chicken again in our lives. A couple of members of the fire company formed the Fallout Forces, and they were going to try to move the chickens to an undisclosed location. The chickens proved to be a much smarter foe than they thought. So then at one point, we had 2 flocks of feral chickens, one on East Main and one on West Main. So if they ever met at the Diamond, it was going to be like that scene from West Side Story with the Jets and the Sharks, like the rival gangs. A resident of the village, her family actually relocated a bunch of chickens off to the farm. And we're down to, I think we call them the Bullsburg 5. There's 1 rooster and 4 hens. They mainly hang out right by Duffy's Tavern. They seem to get fed a lot there. When we have community events, they cross the road and they're part of the community events. They actually, the last wine walk that we had, I watched one of the hens run straight across the street and make a beeline for a glass of wine. So apparently she was thirsty. Bullsburg is a great place to live if you're a chicken or a human, or even a cat or a dog, or a bear or a llama. And we actually did a chicken ordinance, so we do allow chickens on small residential properties now, but we had to make sure that the feral Bullsburg chickens were grandfathered in because we didn't want them to be suddenly kicked out of town because they're just part of our town now.